We are finally starting our onion seeds for the year. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. We are going to finally get our onions started today. It's mid-January, and typically I start my onion seeds the first day of January. I'm usually already off, it's a holiday, and I start my seeds. Y'all, I haven't started my seeds yet, and like I said, it's mid-January, so we have to get on it. Before I start my onion, one of the first things you might want to do, I know it's one of the first things that I do, I like to make a plan. And there are all kinds of online programs and that kind of stuff. I'm old school, y'all. I need a book. And last year, I created my garden journal. I created this book for me. It's not super fancy. It's got just what I need to keep me straight on how I plant my different things. Well, I got some feedback of some things I could do to make it better. And y'all, I now have volume 2 of my garden journal. In my garden journal, I have important information in here, right? You can put your grow zone, first frost dates, last frost dates. You can also, in here, the front, I have a reference table in here that tells you if your crops are cool season, if they're warm season crops. It tells you, on average, how long it takes from the days that you transplant in the ground to harvest, and some just common things about them, like if you want to succession plan, how to do that. All of that's in this reference table. One of the things that I got feedback on was that they wish there were blank tables in there so you can add other items that I may have missed in my reference table. And I added that to this year's book. This journal has, I think, 20 more pages than the last journal. In addition to adding blank pages for references on your different vegetables, there's a place in here that talks about the plan for when you're going to start your seeds, when you actually start your seeds, and when you get them out in the garden. There's a feeding table in here as well. Did I feed with a liquid fertilizer or granular fertilizer, or when was the last time I did it, because I might be late on when it's time to do it again. And behind that, there's a place with garden notes where I can write down each of the different types of plants that I have, the variety, and if I'm having any issues with them, if they didn't germinate, if they do germinate, if they ended up with a lot of end rot, if something was off or if something was great about the plant, there's a place for you to write notes about your individual plants. And then behind there, one of the other things that people talked about was they wish they had a place in the journal where they could do a garden layout. And so I added graphing paper. You might not be able to see it, but there's graphing paper in here now where you can lay out your garden plans. How many raised beds do I have? How many pots do I have? How many green stalks do I have, right? So it's just some graph paper here where you can kind of lay out your garden. And I added, like I said, 20 more pages and a few note pages in the back, just blank note pages. I upped the garden journal just a little bit based on feedback and based on what I thought I needed in here as well. Version 2, or I should say volume 2 of my seed starting journal is here. Both journals will be available on Amazon. So the first volume will be cheaper than the upgraded one with the extra places with the graphing paper in there and some of the other things that I added. So volume 1 and volume 2. If you're interested in a seed starting journal, you might want to give one of these a try. If not, and you want to use something else, blank pages, whatever works for you. You need to just come up with a plan, whatever that plan may be for you, whether it's on the computer, on blank paper, you can write it with crayons, whatever you want to do. Just try to plan out your garden so that you can get the most out of your garden. All right, now that I've got the promoting of my book out the way, let's get back to these onions. I am going to grow 13 different types of onion, and that's a couple more than I just talked about in my video with the different vegetables that I'm going to start this year. So let's talk about a couple of things that have changed. So we are going to grow 3 different types of red onion, and 2 of these I don't think we talked about. We're going to grow, I can't pronounce it, but here it is. This red onion, the plant gets really tall, but it's a sweet, mild flavor onion. And it says you can eat it raw. And that's one thing about red onion. I love red onion. Whew, but y'all, they are hard. They are hard because they're so strong. Well, this one's a little more mild. So we're going to grow this red onion. We're also going to grow the red burgundy, which we've already talked about. And there's the picture of the red burgundy. And I forgot about my Lush and Dew. Lush and Dew sent me this beautiful case with a ton of seeds in it and different varieties that grow well in my area. And yes, you can grow many different types of vegetables in my area, but these are some that grow best in my area based on average temperatures and that kind of stuff. So in here, there was a red onion. And we are going to start that onion as well. And it is called Red Creole. So that's my 3 red onion. For my yellow onion, we got the Utah Spanish Sweet, Walla Walla. And here's a better picture up to the side. Yellow Sweet Spanish. And that's it for the yellow onion. And then for the white onion, there's 3 of those. There are 3 white onion. We're going to grow Eclipse. There's a better picture up to the side. White Sweet Spanish. Just like the yellow, but just white. And white Grano. And there's a better picture up to the side of this one as well. So that's my 3 white onion. I'm growing some storage onion, which is Yellow of Parma. It's a really, really good storage onion. Now, it's not sweet like those other ones. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not that sweet. We're going to do Barletta. I've never grown it before. I've had seeds, just never grown it. There's a picture up to the side. It says they can get up to 4 inches. Barletta. And then the 2 that I'm going to play around with, Globo, just because of the size of it there. And I've grown this one for 2 years now. And Elsa Craig. And I heard someone else say that they had one well over 1 pound. So I'm expecting good things from Elsa Craig this year. Those are all of the onion that we're going to start. I've already got my name tags made up. I got my stuff sitting to the side here. So let's just talk about what we're going to do. The first thing you got to do is decide what kind of medium you want to grow in. Some people grow in coco coir. Some people only grow in seed starting mix. Some people grow in potting mix. It's completely up to you. There are advantages and disadvantages of each one of them. I personally prefer seed starting mix. And I couldn't get my hand on the Jiffy seed starting mix, so I have Miracle Grow seed starting mix. I take that seed starting mix, I put it in my pail right here. This is just a plain old bucket here. And I pour boiling hot water over it. I didn't do this all winter long for my indoor grow space to the side of me here. And yes, I did have a few pest issues. But I want my young seedlings to have the best chance of life because this is the food for next year. If I don't grow it, we don't eat it. And I don't want to be without onion. I've already poured the boiling hot water over this here. And it's already cooled off. It's ready to go. So we are going to pour this into my little tray here. I don't need that much because we're only doing onion today. When I pour that boiling hot water in, I always stir it up really, really good. I want to make sure that all of the soil gets hit with that boiling hot water. The boiling hot water will kill any larva or anything like that you might have growing in your seed starting mix. I've already had an issue with some fungus gnats. I got to be extra careful and not let any type of gnats or anything like that take over my seed starting mix. I already know I got a few fungus gnats in there. I got to make sure that they don't start breeding in my seed starting mix. I've already washed, I still got water in them, washed all of my seed starting trays and little cups here. Got them nice and clean to give them the best chance of life this year. I've already washed one of my, this is a 10-10 tray. This tray is from Bootstrap Farmer, I think. Yeah, Bootstrap Farmer is where I got this from. 10-10 means it's half the size of the longer trays. So it's a 10-20 when you get a full size. When you get half of it, it's called a 10-10. There are no holes in this tray. So this is what we'll use to water from the bottom all of our little seedlings that we're going to start inside. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get some soil put in these little cups. Now, I'm not going to press this soil down or anything like that. I just put it right in the top here. That's it. That's what I'm going to do with all of these little trays. I might have to put a little more soil than that up there. I am going to plant my seeds close. Ooh, super, super close. And as the little seedlings come up and you get the little green on the top of them and everything, we're not going to transplant them. We're not going to separate them. We're going to keep them growing close together just like that. Now, the reason why I grow that way is because I want to save as much space as I can in my grow tent. I don't want to have to turn on any more lights than I have to. There are some people who are really concerned that my electricity bill must be outrageous, and it's not. It's not. I might have, I think I said, what, 13 lights or something like that. And I have 4 grow lights, okay, five grow lights going right now, and 1 long shop light, which is not LED. And actually the LED lights, that's actually better than the shop lights. They pull less electricity. It actually saves you money. Any kind of LED light will save you money over the old traditional lights. My electricity bill does not go up in the wintertime. Now my gas bill does, especially when it's like 6 degrees outside right now, Fahrenheit, and we got this cold winter blast headed our way. I think tomorrow's high is only supposed to be like 8 or something like that. Let's go ahead and set these in here. Look at that. They're sitting right in here. Now, I haven't put any onion in here yet. Not yet, but we will. I've had issues with germination with some onion in the past. I've had old seeds, they don't germinate, and then I am really, really struggling to try to get enough onion to germinate. So I am only making 1 tray of each of these for now, and then we will come back, and if we have issues with poor germination anywhere, we will add more. But we're going to start with 1 nice size tray for each. But I just told you I'm growing 13 varieties. So let me go pick up 4 more trays. For those who don't know, seed starting mix has no nutrition in it. So that's one of the cons for some people. They don't want to use seed starting mix because there's no nutrition in there. And your seed has all of the nutrition it needs in it to start, right? But then after that, you need to provide nutrition for it. That's why a lot of people are starting to use potting mixes and their own personal mix so that they can go ahead and provide some of that nutrition up front. I'm hoping you can see. I know I don't have the best lighting. Let's do the yellow onions first. Utah Sweet Spanish. Always follow the instructions on the back of your pack. And on my pack, it says I need to plant these 1/4 inch deep. It says start indoors 8 to 10 weeks before the last frost. And so you do your math, figure out when your last frost is going to be. You can Google it. Sometimes you can put in your zip code and it'll tell you what your last average frost date will be. And then it says that you can transplant out up to 2 to 4 weeks prior to your last frost. So, in other words, onion can take a little bit of frost, but we are going to plant these 1/4 inch deep. And I'm going to do that for all of the onions. So let me label before I get out of control here. And onion are easy to separate when you get out to your garden and you're ready to put them in your beds. They will separate. They pull apart so easy. So don't worry about it. I'm going to plant, oh goodness, how many am I planting? This might be 30 seeds or so. I don't know. I'm not going to count them. It might be 30 or 40 seeds in my hand, and I'm going to put all of them in here. I'm going to try not to put them all on top of each other. I'm going to try to space them out as best I can, but that's okay. They will separate and pull apart from one another when the time comes. And I dropped one. And I have no idea where it went. Oh well. Let's do the Walla Walla. And I'm going to do this for all of them. I'll show you these 3 first, and then I'll just move on. I'm not going to show you all the teeny little things for every one of these onions. Again, about the same number of seeds. I think last year I tried to put 20 in each one, and I could have put a few more. So my goal was to put 30, but I don't know. We'll see how many there are actually in there when they come up. So now we're going to do the yellow, and I haven't covered anything yet. Onion seeds are the one seed that I find I have germination issues pretty early on, like much more than a year old. I have germination issues, but they need to be 1/4 inch covered. So that's not much. I'm just going to put a little soil right on top, and that one's ready. And I'm going to do that for the other 2. And I'm not pressing down hard. I just don't want the seeds to blow away with the fans that I got blowing in my grow space. And I will give you an update in the next few days on the indoor garden, because y'all, it's a jungle over there. I mean, like for real, it's a jungle in my indoor grow tent. All right. These 3 are done. These 3. But I need to do this for 10 more. So let me get the other 10 planted. I will bring you back and we'll talk about what we're going to do next, how we're going to water, and all of that kind of good stuff. I have a seed sale, or plant sale, I should say, every year. And I sell my transplants to families, friends, neighbors, anybody that drives by and they want to buy a plant from me, they can buy a plant from me. And since I will have a plant sale, I got to have some onions so I can sell. I'm going to have to start more, but I don't want to start any more until I know I got good germination on these. Once I know I have good germination, I will start more of that particular variety. Lush and Dew have these cute little containers here. And I've never had this red Creole. Don't know anything about red Creole. Red Creole sounds like it's going to burn my eyes, though. That's what it sounds like to me. All right, I have all 13 started. I only have one tray of, or one container of each. When I'm watering, I'm going to water from the bottom. All of these are fully moist right now because I just did the boiling water thing. So the soil is nice and damp and it's moist and it's a really, really dark color. When the soil starts turning a light brown, that's when it's time to water. And when you water, you're going to water from the bottom. And I don't need to water, but you're just going to put a little bit of water in the bottom of your trays, just like this right here, just a little bit. And you're going to wait for that water to completely absorb into the little containers. Now, if that water absorbs really fast, maybe you didn't put enough. Like my water's already gone, and I thought I thought mine were watered nicely, so I might have to put a little more water in mine. If it completely absorbs, put a little bit more. After you've waited, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, and that water is not absorbing, then you need to pour that water off. You don't want any of your plants sitting in a lot of standing water. One, it's not good for the plants because you have soggy bottoms, and you can have root rot and all kinds of things like that. And it causes pests to come in, right? The fungus gnats and things of that nature, they're going to be looking for water sources, and you're going to give them one. These are ready to go. We're now going to put them underneath one of my shop lights. So let's move over and let me show you where we're going to put them. All right, this is where I'm going to put the onion into my grow space. Let's turn them around so I can read the names. And I am going to lower this light until it's right above the top of these. Some plants don't need light until after they germinate. I honestly don't know if onion's one of them or not, but I have other things in here as well that do need light on them right now. And so I have them in here as well. But that's it, y'all. The onion has been started. And one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that everything I can get on this shelf right here is on this shelf right here, so I don't have to run that many shop lights for my seed starts. Now, it's also important that we don't overwater, so remember, only water when it calls for watering. And that's typically going to be when the soil turns a light brown. They're in here, they're ready to go. We got all 13 of our seeds started of onion. We're only a couple of weeks late, so we're going to be fine. And we've actually put the onion in our seed starting book. Under Today for Planting, I put that we started our onion today, so we are good to go. If you're growing with me, you might want to get those onion seeds started. And if you've already started your onion seeds, great, I'm happy for you. We're going to get this season started. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you hang out with me, Kim, at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.